2, 4, 3. Oh, hi. What are you doing here? I didn't know anybody was coming over today. Oh, what are these doing here? Must have been from the dryer. That's crazy. Actually, I'm really glad you stopped by today. I was just joking around. I was actually doing a little bit of research earlier. It's pretty complex. I don't know you'd understand, so never mind. But yeah, you wouldn't understand. This is Maria from goalietrainingpro.com. I'm an exercise physiologist who helps you do the right training off the ice so that you can stop more pucks and have fewer injuries on the ice. Today, I did want to talk to you about upper body training for goalies and why it's important. And it's something that a lot of goalies ignore altogether because they think they don't need to do it, or they're kind of missing the mark on their approach. So now we're going to get a little bit sciencey. And if I'm going to get sciencey, then there's something I need. That's better. So if you're going to be a geek, you got to look like a geek. And we're going to geek out a little bit here. So there are two main reasons why upper body strength is really important for goalies. The first one has to do a little more with stamina and stability of your actual shoulder joint. So, when you're on the ice doing puck handling drills and your hand, in particular, your upper shoulder just gets so fatigued, or even one of the turning pro goalies was asking me, do I have to wear my glove when I do my hand-eye training because my shoulder gets so tired holding my glove up? Yes. Double yes, you have to wear it because, even though the glove doesn't weigh a lot, keeping it there for, a minute at a time, it fatigues and you don't realize it. You're thinking of other things, but it's going to slowly kind of creep its way down a bit without you realizing it. The other important element with that stamina and stability is keeping your good scapular positioning. So just like we talk about neutral pelvis and the impact on the performance of your hips, the same thing goes with maintaining a good scapular position. So your scapula is just your shoulder blade, and it's kind of the muscles that attach to it are kind of like the core muscles of your shoulder. If we let our shoulder blades, we kind of get that a little bit rounded forward shoulder posture. That's really common, but it impacts our ability to open up, keep that glove in a nice open position, or stay tall in our chest. So we want to make sure we're training that so that we're working as efficiently as possible. So I'm going to give you a couple of drills to show you how exactly we work on that. Really simple ones just to get you started. But I think what you'll find from it is you'll think, holy smokes, that's really, really fatiguing. Keep in mind, these are smaller muscles that we're working, so we're going to use a little bit lighter resistance. We could, and you could do the exercise with a heavy, we're going to use a band for them. You could do the exercise with a heavy band and still do reps, but now you're going to be bringing in other bigger muscles to help out and then not letting those smaller muscles get the stimulus they need to be stronger. So small muscles where we're trying to train stamina and stabilization, we're going to actually use a light resistance. Trust me, you'll probably almost feel it more in these specific muscles, which will kind of be the back of your shoulder, the outside of your shoulder, by using a lighter resistance. So let me show you exactly what those look like. Then we're going to go on to the second reason that you need a strong upper body, and that gets into sort of the linked system and how our body works in muscular chains, and we can't have a weak link at one end of the chain. So I'll give you some specific examples, and I'll give you a couple exercises that'll work on that as well. But let's keep with the stamina and the stability part. Here we go. The first drill is one that we use all the time in the gym. This is a light resistance band. So it looks big because it's coated in like a nylon sheath. It's a light resistance band. The exercise is called the bungee W. So I'm starting here, almost like I'm holding a tray in level across my forearm. So that's my starting position. I'm up nice and tall, and then what I'm going to do is pull apart and externally rotate my shoulders. So my hands come up and away. My elbows also come away from my side. And I pause and I come back down. I come up, I pause, I come back down to that tray position. This is a common compensation pattern that you might do without even realizing you're doing it. And it's to extend your back as you do your bungee W. So we don't want to teach you to use your back extensors to get scapular retraction and external rotation. External rotation is what you need to help keep your glove in that good position. It's also the force you need, when that slap shot comes in from the point and it hits the blade of your stick, but it kind of almost jerks it out of your hand. That is, you need strong external rotation so that you can absorb that. So that's the bungee W. And it's just the tempo I showed you. So just pulling apart, pause, control, coming back down. The reason we call it a W is because we're making this W pattern with our arms as we go. So you would start with about 8 to 12 of those, and you just want to go to the point of getting a fatigue in the back of your shoulder. You don't want to do as many as you can. If say it starts to burn at 8 repetitions, you don't want to do 20 of them, because again, those small muscles are going to fatigue, and then you're going to start bringing in other muscles to help and compensate. We're not trying to train compensation patterns. We're trying to train your efficiency. So about 8 to 12, once it starts to burn with fatigue, maybe do 2 more reps, and then that's it for that set. The next simplest way to work those shoulder external rotators is to wear your glove when you do your hand-eye. So throwing the ball off the wall, catch ball, whatever it is that you use, but wear your goalie glove. And you should anyway, why? Because your hand, if you catch bare hand, your hand is here. So if I'm catching bare hand, I'm teaching myself that, this is where I need to position my hand when a puck is coming, whereas the pocket is way up here. So really, I need to learn to position my hand below where the puck is so that it's landing in the pocket, not in the heel of my glove. But that, I tell you that all the time. But just wearing this when you work on your hand-eye, if you're working on your hand-eye for 5 or 10 minutes, that's a lot of load, and that actually is probably the most functional kind of training you can do. But what else can you do with your regular off-ice training? Well, this is one that we started using at Revolution, about probably 5 years ago, and it's really helped. So I'm just putting on this bungee. So I've just looped it around me, kind of low on my waist, so that I'm getting a resistance that's trying to pull my hand kind of down and in, sort of trying to drop my glove. And then I'm going to work on keeping it there, not letting this slide forward like that, keeping it down and back. So now when I do my agility drill, so if I had my agility ladder out, then I'm just going to keep this position as I go. So, maybe I'm doing a quick step, lateral hop, quick step, lateral hop pattern, but I'm going to keep it there. And I'm also going to pay attention to, hey, is this thing dropping as I go just because I'm not focusing on it, or is it doing all kinds of weird things? So any agility drill that you're working on, you can add that in to get a little bit more stamina work on your posterior shoulder. But again, you have to be cognizant and be aware, hey, what's going on? Am I holding the right position? Am I letting it drop because I'm not concentrating? Or am I, waving it all over the place? So it really only works if you're using deliberate practice to make it better. So those are a few for the stamina and stability element of your shoulder training or your upper body training. Now I want to switch to the little bit more complex overall performance element. So our body works in chains of muscles and connective tissue. We don't I'm using my biceps now. Even when I'm using my biceps, there's tension above and below that muscle that's helping me do that work. So if we look at the upper body and how it has an impact on your abdominal muscles, your hip muscles, let me just try to show you, exactly how it's set up. And it's 10 times more complicated than this, but this will really just help you understand what's going on. We start with some of the muscles in our back. So let's think of our lats. So our big sort of pulling muscles, our lats. Well, our lats come down like this, and they attach to a connective tissue sheath in our back, sort of in here, that's called the thoracolumbar fascia. There's going to be a test, so make sure you write that down, thoracolumbar fascia. So it comes down in here, ties into the thoracolumbar fascia. Out the other side of the thoracolumbar fascia is the attachment to the glutes.